IELTS again, again, and again, and again, and again. Hi there, my name is Ben Worthington. In this video, we're going to look at why students take IELTS again and again and again, and we'll look at how to solve that. But before this, I want to tell you about a quick story about a student of mine called Arturo. Now, as you probably know, I'm in contact quite frequently with my students to help them with their IELTS preparation, with their essays, and also just to find out what they do after they've passed the exam. Now, I was talking with Arturo, and he's from Spain, from Madrid, but he's living in London, and he wants to go to Australia. So he needs to take the IELTS, and to get to Australia, IELTS is pretty much stopping him. That's like one of the biggest obstacles for him to get to Australia. And he took the test 4 times in total. Now, what's really common after speaking with a lot of students is that, and Arturo had this exact same issue, is that a lot of students, they're very success orientated, and they want to, like as we say in English, improve their lot. That means improve their conditions, go to a richer country, or find better opportunities, or go to a better university. And this is quite a common trait, this like urge for success. And it's also what's common when you've got this urge for success is if you're highly motivated and highly dedicated towards getting this success. And unfortunately, and this is exactly what happened to Arturo. Okay, he's the exact same characteristic, and he took the test the first time. Unfortunately, he had a hearing deficiency, and he went into the exam, and the test center didn't have the headphones, so he couldn't score on the IELTS listening. But overall, well, I think in the writing he got something like 5.5 or a 6, something like that. And so it wasn't good enough for getting into Australia. So he takes the test again, but this time he's looking for an IELTS tutor. He's looking online, he's looking in London, and he said he found one for £60 an hour. £60 an hour. It's like $90 US or something like that. It's crazy. So he pays this tutor. He only does 4 classes, and we've got to understand the logistics as well. So he has to spend time. He has to spend time and money commuting from one side of London to the other side of London, which isn't easy. And in my experience, the personal classes have never been so successful. You know, you spend 5 minutes, how was your weekend, and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, after 4 classes, that's like £240. That's a lot of money just for 4 hours of tuition. And anyway, does those 4 hours, does the test again, still no improvement. Still not good enough to pass the exam. So, and what I wanted to say was that a lot of students, that they take the test once and they're so motivated and so driven to pass, they don't get the result. They take the test, don't get the results they want, so motivated, they put in for another test, and then again, and then again, and again. And what I learned after talking with Arturo is that I didn't learn it, I realized it, but a lot of the students dedicate this motivation towards passing the exam. They dedicate it towards taking test after test after test after test, when the really smart thing to do would be to dedicate this energy, to channel this energy into your IELTS preparation and take practice test after practice test after practice test after practice test. And I know that doesn't sound very sexy, but it's probably what's necessary, especially for the IELTS reading and listening. This is absolutely fundamental. You need to get familiar with the test. So what Arturo did is he went to Amazon, he went and bought the books. No, he didn't go to Amazon, sorry. He went to Waterstones, a famous bookshop in England, and he went and bought some practice tests, did them continuously, got familiar with the exam, and that section was under control. Now for the speaking, he got very high marks, but he's using English every day. He's probably thinking in English, dreaming in English. He's definitely speaking in English. He's in London. So that was basically taking care of itself. Now, with the writing, what he did with the writing was he got in contact with myself, got in contact with the website, and I was correcting his essays. And after about a month, 2 months of writing essays and practicing and getting feedback and improving his writing abilities and working through the online course, doing the exercises, he decides to put in for 2 tests. Now, the first test, he goes in there and he gets 7.5, which is absolutely fantastic. And then he put in a week later because he was nervous. So he had his 3rd test, and then a week after he had his 4th test because he was nervous that he wasn't going to pass, and he really wanted to pass this time. And then in the 4th test, he actually scored a band 8 in his writing. He was much more familiar with the exam, probably much more confident, and he got a band 8 in the writing. How fantastic is that? So if you're in the same situation, if you're taking test after test after test, I strongly recommend you to stop and follow what Arturo did. Get some practice tests, get some specific writing guidance, probably the course, or at least get some feedback for your essays, and then take it from there, rather than just throwing money in the drain and taking test after test after test after test. Invest in yourself. Invest that money in yourself rather than the British Council. Okay? They don't need any more investment money. Invest that money in yourself. And we're not just talking about passing IELTS and just getting this obstacle that's stopping you from getting to Australia, from practicing medicine in the UK. But also, if you invest in yourself, you've got better writing abilities after the test. You've got probably more speaking confidence if you do the speaking confidence course, and you've got a lot more skills. But most importantly, if IELTS is stopping you, then you need to, instead of invest in the British Council or IELTS IDP, invest in yourself, and you'll find that IELTS will stop blocking you, and you'll be able to get to the country, get to Canada, get to Australia, get to the UK, practice medicine, start in a university in Australia or in UK, or even stay in the country that you want to stay in. You know, if you're in Australia and you need points for your visa application, for PR, for permanent residency, then you really need to start investing in yourself, and just invest in yourself, and consider doing an online course, getting feedback, buying the books, and just making that next step and channeling your motivation, your determination into yourself and into your own resources rather than British Council.